Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, August 26th. This is Gina McGuire-Palma. Over the next couple of days, we will see increases in winds across the Great Basin. Today, a large area in orange covering much of the Great Basin will be strong and gusty southwest to west winds out ahead of a strong cold front, and wind gusts will generally be within the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. However, there may be some higher gusts as well. We'll continue with isolated thunderstorms over eastern Utah, and also behind the cold front, showers will move into the central Idaho mountains late today and really overnight and on Monday. You can see a larger area of green across much of Idaho and Wyoming, so we will see widespread shower activity with some thunderstorms as well. However, rainfall amounts we're expecting up to or above 1/4 inch of rainfall in many locations. The stronger wind gusts on Monday shift to the eastern half of the Great Basin. However, these areas, the fuels are not as critical, but with the lightning we've seen recently, we certainly could pick up some holdovers and affect ongoing incidents. The weather is much more quiet on Tuesday after that cold front moves to the east. Over the last 24 hours, we only saw thunderstorms in very isolated fashion over southern and eastern Utah with very light amounts of rainfall. Great Basin fire activity was light across the area yesterday. However, we continue to see growth on our large fires. Over the last 7 days, precipitation has mainly targeted the eastern half of the Great Basin, with dry conditions across much of Nevada into southwest Idaho. Looking at the last 14 days, southwest Idaho, again into Nevada, any precipitation they have seen has been well below normal, with near to above normal precipitation across parts of Utah. How this has affected our current fuel conditions, ERCs are still above the 80th to 90th percentile over western and northern areas, where the precipitation has been more scarce. However, over much of Utah and southern Nevada, ERCs dropped and are still below the 50th percentile. We will see these ERCs start to drop across Idaho as that cold front moves through over the next 2 days. Looking at our ERC and 1,000-hour fuel moisture, ERC for central Idaho is this map on the top right. Has come down a little bit with some of the showers that have moved through, but is still well above normal and near records. Also, we're seeing in 1,000-hour trends over much of Idaho and northern Nevada the same similar trend where even though ERCs have come down a little bit, 1,000-hour fuels are still near record lows for the time of year. Looking at the satellite loop from this morning, we had an initial wave of the cold front move through Idaho over the last 12 hours, bringing a band of clouds and some showers and some cooler temperatures. However, it's the second cold front dropping south, which will move through tonight and tomorrow, which will bring much colder temperatures and better chances of more widespread wetting rains to the north. Otherwise, out ahead of this front, you can see the very strong winds that will be affecting the Great Basin over the next 24 to 36 hours. This loop will show a forecast of smoke dispersion over the next couple of days. Today, we're still seeing those southwest to westerly winds blowing that smoke across Nevada and Utah, but as the cold front starts to push across Idaho, this band of smoke will continue to push to the south. So areas further south in the basin that have not seen smoke will start seeing some smoke enter their air. And then you can see again the north to northwesterly winds as we move into Monday. And then eventually, as we move later in Monday into Tuesday, we see more of a northeast wind component, which will start blowing the smoke back to the southwest across parts of western Nevada as well. So again, we'll continue to see that shift of smoke first to the south and southeast, and then eventually back to the southwest as we move into Tuesday. Now we'll start into the forecast for the next couple of days. Again, we've already mentioned the cold front dropping south with the strong southwest to west winds out ahead of it. So we have a large area of high risk where those gusty winds and strong winds will combine with low relative humidity. You also start to see some of that moisture move into central Idaho later today. Relative humidity this afternoon will mainly be in the single digits across much of Nevada into western Utah and into the low to mid-teens over southeast Idaho. And you can see the wind picture on the right. These gusts in the brighter oranges and purples are wind gusts between 35 and 45 miles per hour. So very dry and windy today, which will certainly affect all of our ongoing incidents and potentially stir up some holdovers. As we move into Monday, the stronger cold front starts to push a little bit further south and east, so we'll see a better chance of areas of wetting rain across Idaho tonight and Monday. And those gusty winds shift further east into the east part of the basin. We do not have any high risk right now for Monday, as many of these areas the fuel moistures have come up. But again, still will be at risk on Monday of stirring up some holdovers and of affecting incidents across Utah. You can see the weather picture for Monday. Again, better chances of more widespread showers and some thunderstorms will likely occur as well across Idaho, but certainly increasing humidity and cooler temperatures. Some of these showers may dip into far northeast Nevada. Again, you can see the wind picture on the right, the strongest gusts over the southern and eastern half of Utah, but still breezy northwest winds across Idaho into northeast Nevada. On Tuesday, that front pushes off to the east with drier weather and quieter conditions across the Great Basin and no high risk. On Tuesday, you can see those relative humidity come up over northern Nevada and Utah and Idaho, and are now only in the single digits to low teens over the southern half of the basin. However, winds will decrease on Tuesday from what we'll see over the next couple of days. Forecast amount of precipitation for the next 3 days. With that front that drops south in Idaho, we could see areas of up to or over 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. Some areas may get over 1/2 inch of rainfall, depending on where the heavier bands set up, with also heavier showers up north into Montana and into Wyoming. As we go into Wednesday, we see a weak ridge of high pressure start to rebuild, so lighter winds, dry conditions, and no high risk. But you can see how the significant fire potential has decreased across Idaho with that frontal passage, cool temperatures, and the wetting rains that we'll likely see. Also temperatures, highs will drop by Monday and Tuesday into the 60s in the high elevations of Idaho, with lows in the 30s. On Thursday, we see kind of more of a southwest wind. Winds may start to pick up a little bit, but no high risk issued. And on Friday, kind of similar conditions, moderate southwest to westerly flow across the area with dry conditions, except maybe in the far north. On Saturday, we have another area of low pressure moving into the west coast. This may trigger another round of showers and potential thunderstorms for western and northern Nevada up into Idaho. Forecast amount of precipitation over the next 7 days has not changed much, as most of that precipitation will occur in the next 3 days with the frontal passage up north. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us into the first week in September, we will return to an above normal temperature regime across much of the basin, however dry conditions. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.